Hey, another day, another bunch of bugs. So we've got a forum on our Discord where we talk about bugs and stuff. So this one is, it would be nice to have some sort of indication where the area for placing evidence and hostages is. So let's go have a look at that. So let's go to Dungeon Lower City. And I think in here is some gameplay volumes somewhere. So yeah, there's one here. This is the follower auto stop. They do move into this other location here, which is an extraction zone. And then we've also got like a spawn room. So if we go and have a look at, I think it's just like LC spawn room maybe? Yeah, so we've got this room, and this volume is the escort goal. So you've got to get the stuff into this volume here. Now, what I want to do is have like a decal on the floor. So let's sort out a decal. So do I already have any decals? Looks like I've got, or a decal, depending on how you want to say it. So it looks like I have m underscore decal. I also have m underscore decal mesh. So let's just have a look at this. So by default, this decal is just some sort of decoration, I guess. It comes from the Shooter VFX pack. Let's have a look at what it does. Oh, yeah, cracks and craters and all that sort of stuff. So we don't want that one. So let's have a look at my library. There's a rain spot decal. I mean, honestly, I could just write my own. So let's go guards, art, materials, and I'll just like quickly whip up a decal, I guess. So m underscore decal underscore guards. And then you just set the domain to defer decal, and then it says it wants to be translucent, so we'll make it translucent. We'll stick a texture in. We'll make that a parameter so that we can edit it, and this is just called texture. And it's just like base color and opacity. It currently doesn't have a texture, so we'll have to put something in there, which we'll just use like white. So we just have this white low here. Save that, and now if I just go and create an instance of that, and we'll just call this instance extract. No, what did we call it? It's like escort goal. Save that. Go over here. And drop this in. So now we've got this like area, and what we kind of want to do is just make it pretty obvious. It's just like, this is the area. So we can't have text in this because we can't localize it. So we want some sort of iconography that kind of gives the idea that this is where you need to place stuff. So I'm going to need Photoshop for that. And we're also going to need like gameicons.net, which is, this is all like public domain stuff. Oh no, it's CC by 3 actually. Attribution 3.0. You must give appropriate credit. So I don't actually know if we've already used any of these. I'm pretty sure we haven't. Although, in our DT credits, if we have used it, it will be in here. GameIcons.net, various icons, there you go. GameIcons.net, yeah, so we have used them already, and yeah, it's just a good little place to find some icons. So let's just type like delivery, see what it comes up with. I honestly don't know what kind of icon I'd want to use. So there's loads of arrows. It's like this kind of arrow. How about like location? This is a pretty cool icon. It's like, go get the stuff and bring it back here. That could work, maybe? Two Zelda icons. Yeah, well, we don't want those. What might we want? Just general GUI stuff. I mean, even if it was just like a location like this, just spinning. Right, I'm gonna do a mix of this one and this one. So let's download these two. And then go to Photoshop, maybe later, open. So we go to downloads, we've got these two. Alright, give this one a mask. Yep, that's pretty good. Obviously the base color can just be completely white. This is going to be like really thick on the ground. So what I can do is apply this layer mask, copy it, paste it, and then just size it right down. I don't actually know how big this texture is right now. It's 512, so this might be cool. wondering if the way I should do this is there's two separate textures. And one is just like drop this here, and the other one is like just kind of spinning now. I can see here that it's gonna clip, so I need to shrink it anyway. And then I'm gonna make an executive sort of decision here and say, hey, this is way too thick. So we'll do something like this. We'll just duplicate it for now so that we still have the original, and then just like go for something like this. So let's export this file, export PNG, and then we've got guards working, and it's technically user interface, so we'll stick it in here, t_decal_circle corners or something, and then I'll export the other one separately, and I guess actually it can be full size, and then file export is PNG, t_decal_arrow. And then in the editor, we'll make a, oh, what did I just do? I think I just duplicated it. Don't want to do that. Let's go new folder, decals, put these in here, and then I'll import my textures. To folder things up, keeps things neat. So guards working. Got the UI folder that we just made, and we got two decals. So this one and this one. That one didn't work. We'll take this one. File, export. Oops. File, export selected, and it's the corners. What we can do with these is set them to UI so that they retain quite decent res when used. And what we can do is in the UVs here, we take UVs and we can like rotate them. There's a thing called a rotator, like this, and you take time and you can multiply that by a speed. So we'll say something like 0.5. Or I think it's like quite fast if I remember, so we'll do this. And now in here we can set our speed and our texture. So we can go t_decal. We've got this one. It's not going to show us it here. We can kind of see it's turning it. You see this issue here where we're getting this clipping. So what we can do is go to our corners, and there's a wrap mode for the texture, and because it's not set to like clamp, it's actually bleeding out of the edges. So we just need to find the wrap mode. Yeah, so here, right, and then you just set this to clamp. And the cool thing about material instances is you can actually watch them in real time. So I can just spin this up and be like, yeah, that's cool. That's going to sort of like denote a location where you're supposed to bring some stuff. And then the next thing that I want to do is color it. So in our material, we've got the default color here, and then we can create a new color. So convert this to a parameter called color, and we'll actually multiply our base color by the RGB, which will by default be white, which means the color won't be changed, because when you multiply something by a value of 1, it doesn't change. And then we can do the same for the alpha. So that means the texture will have an alpha, but then we're also going to multiply the alpha additionally, and we can sort of make it a little bit less opaque. So that should be nice. And then just double check. Yeah, it's like 1, 1, 1, 1. So it's like multiplying the alpha by 1, which means nothing will change. But that just means now I can come in here and change this color. You know, I could make it orange. Probably going to make it some sort of guardsy color, like blue. And I can also change the overall opacity, so I could make it a little bit less egregious if I wanted. But I'm going to go for like 0.8. And you can also overpower this if I remember. So you could set this color to like a high number, although it's not emissive. But if it was emissive, it could be pretty cool. But we'll leave it as like a sort of generic color, and I might want to give it some emissive actually. So what we can do is multiply this color and plug it into the emissive and just say emissive. And by default emissive is 0. There's no additional emissive, and what emissive means is color that isn't affected by lighting, whereas base color is affected by lighting. Emissive allows us to basically power this up, and now, I mean, it makes it really bad, but if we go into lit mode, we can see it like it has color now regardless of the backdrop. But what I failed to do is actually use the multiplied color for the emissive, so we'll use the multiplied color. So now we have this nice blue, and I think if you set this to like 50, you can actually make it glow. The interesting thing with Lumen is things that glow actually affect the light of the scene. So you can see it's actually hitting, on the scene. But we don't want something like this in guards because it's like a medieval sort of thing. So we'll just go. We just want to make sure that regardless of the night or daytime, it's quite obvious. So that'll be our decal for that, and then what I can do is just save these things, create another decal called escort goal arrow, because I've got a second texture, right? Tier decal, and we've got this arrow, and again this arrow is also not set to clamp, so let's do that. So this is now set to clamp, and if I was, wait, didn't I already drag that down? I guess not, I guess it's just this one. And then it's also got this rotation speed, so I want to set that to 0. And if we were to set that to like, but it's actually, you can see how it's like slightly rotated. And the issue is we can't see it rotating because we're not in real time. So now that we're in real time, we could actually edit this and watch it sort of do its thing. But we want no speed on the rotation for this one. So we just want this to be a static arrow on the ground, right? So we're just saying, hey, this is where stuff goes. So we could shrink this down a bit. And if I just save that for now and go to Dungeon Lower City and hit play, we can actually see it in context to the world with proper lighting. Oh, so we've got this cool little area here. That's interesting. What does this do? And then, you know, you're going to learn this is the area. So I'm going to grow this a bit, I think, because it needs to be sort of like around this whole area. But I'm going to send this over to my Discord and see what the guy thinks. And I like to take GIFs when I'm sharing stuff, because especially obviously if it's got animation to it, right? So we'll take this at 33 FPS. And then the first few frames of my GIF will also be like kind of crunched, so I'll just delete them. Delete from this frame to the start. Save that, and I should just have a GIFs folder, and so this is just like delivery location. Then I can go back here and just post that file up. So we go to Gad's working, GIFs, and we just pop in the delivery location at Egmo. Yeah, see what he thinks. So that's pretty cool. It does need to be a little bit larger, so we'll go back to the spawn room LC here. We'll just mess with these decals. So this is the one that I wanted to just size up a bit, so we'll leave it about this high, and you can see actually when something gets a little too far here, you can see how it's clipping over these things. So what you can do is just make its height a lot shorter, and now it's not going to overlap all those things. And the same thing needs to be done for the second decal that I had, otherwise it will go over people's feet. So we just want to make sure that it's pretty low to the ground like this. It is slightly clipping on the APC as well, so I'm just going to move it back a little. One of the things I noticed is that where this geometry is, we're actually getting this kind of odd looking, so I'm just going to move it, kind of, maybe just make it centered, because at least then it looks like it's almost intentional. Another thing is that this line, I mean, it's pixelated, but I'm going to ignore that. But what I'm not happy about with that line is it's still feeling a little bit too thick. It's like, it doesn't need to be that thick. So let's just go one step further and delete just a little bit more of that line. Now that it's so large. And so when you do this and you've imported a file, you can actually just right click and re-import. And then bam, it should be updated straight away. So yeah, it's a little bit thinner, it's hard to tell because it's such a minor change. I'm just going to look at how it's interacting with these areas. It is slightly hitting on this wall, and I'm not super keen on that. So I'm just going to shrink it just a smidge. That'll do. So that is pretty cool. That can stay there for every mission really, because it's like, this is where you deliver perps or hostages or whatever you might want. Does the job. So that was one of the suggestions. And what I might do is add a little thing to this saying that, like, okay, I've had a look. Okay, so we've got this other bug. I'm just going to check. Hey, Spark. I'm actually going to look at the one that you mentioned. So we've got this poison thrower, basically. They throw poison. So if we go to really empty test map, we'll just create a polygon AI, and we'll make them the poison thrower, who's this myth person. And so if I hit play, they're there. They're going to throw this item. I'm going to disable the myth effect as well, because that's not going to help us debug. So if I go to the myth thrower and look at their inventory, they've got this poison bottle. So we'll open this up. We're going to need to open this up anyway, because we're going to debug what's going on. There's this drug cloud effect here, so we'll just disable that for now. So the other weapon that is thrown by enemies is a brick. And so this poison weapon is just an item, and then if we go and look at the brick, we can see if there's anything special about this brick. So firstly, stops them from moving, and it does some logic, and then when this thing ends play, its smoke pops. So this is just like when it hits the floor or any other way. And when damage happens, it immediately gets destroyed. Whereas on this guy, it's like when the thrown hit happens, we could become invisible. We move a sphere, we allow it to do some stuff, and then we destroy this actor. Now, this destroys when it hits someone. This one destroys 1 second after it hits the floor. The class settings, or defaults I should say, for this, it's throw item down here, secondary. And the class defaults for this one is drop item and throw item, so that it doesn't immediately seem strange. It is weird that you can drink this. I mean, the player's never going to get hold of it, and the enemy's never going to drink it, so we'll get rid of that just in case that has anything to do with it. We've got can drop from stun and ragdoll, and this is like it can't do that for either of them, so we'll copy that setting. I mean, honestly, what we should do is we should try and reproduce it first before I start making changes. Should definitely start with reproducing the issue to see if I can get a repro step. So let's have a look at this guy. Put a little thing on here. Eyes. I mean, I would like to fix this, but if it's going to cause me a bunch of pain, then... Oh, so one thing that I just undid was this. So let's definitely do that and then hit play. Okay, so I hit the guy. He's still got his thing. If I hit the guy while he's trying to pick it up, what happens? He just picks it up again. Ah, see, he fell that time. And he dropped his item, which I can now pick up. And I can have a drink of it.
I'm gonna feel that one in the morning.
Okay, so he gets into a broken state after he's dropped it. But what we'll do is we'll just copy some of these properties. So he can't drop it when he ragdolls, and you don't need to be able to skull, because that's just a little bit silly. Also, I mean, you're never going to be able to pick this up because it's only available through the enemy, and that, I think, is the only fix that's necessary. Because I think what he's doing is he's just standing back up and he just doesn't have it in his hands. Another thing might be that, like, there's a lifetime on this throwable. So we'll just double check. Yeah, see this? Initial lifespan, 20 seconds. So that's a bit of an issue because I'm glad I just had the intuition to check that. This just comes with years of doing this stuff. I pressed the wrong button. So if I jump down here and press F1 and look at this guy, I can just speed time up. It will just disappear out of his hands. And now he doesn't have an item. So that, I think, is the main issue, but the other things are also important. So this lifespan is bad. Let's get rid of that. And so now, because I know that that is a thing, I need to double check like all of my items. So let's grab everything in this folder and just get rid of a bunch of that. In fact, let's just look at all blueprints in the items folder. Asset actions, bulk edit via properties. And we're just going to check out the lifetime on all actors because it's always good to do a quick check. So the issue with that is that there's too many differing types, so it's like BP item, asset actions, bulk edit via property matrix. It's still not letting me do it. So let's just select all the things. And we'll just manually unselect everything that's... In fact, let me check something. So if I have these attachments selected and this auto turret and this buy item, and I look at the asset, oh great, of course it crashed. Sometimes it doesn't like it. But yeah, that was silly. There's a 20-second lifetime on that potion for whatever reason. It's a really odd mistake. But I'm glad we found it, because that means that enemy can stay now, and I get to do a quick bug fix across the rest of the items, just in case anything is also set up incorrectly, though I haven't seen this issue before on anything else. Okay, so we were looking at items, we were in the items folder, we were by blueprint, and we're having a look at these four, plus this buy item, and maybe this beer can. We go asset actions, bulk edit. There we go. So we are allowed to see properties that are shared when it's just blueprints, and the initial lifespan can be seen here, and they're all infinite life, so that's good. So the goal is to just get rid of anything that's not actually going to have a lifetime. So maybe I could just type in actor, actor. Class equals actor. Class equals actor. Type equals actor. Class equals actor. Actor. Metadata. Actor label. Types actor. Types blueprint. And then it just shows me everything. Okay, type equals, type not equal to component. Well, that's an attachment right there. I guess that is an actor. And type not equal to, wait, what was the other one? This thing? It's an anim notify, so and type not equal to anim notify. Oh well, that didn't work. Anim notify state. That one is anim notify, but it's not being removed. Well, at least I can get rid of components from in here. Nope, there's a component right there. Actor component. Oh, right, okay. Not equal to actor component. That's not working. Type equals BP item. I wish this had more documentation. Oh well, manually. Don't want components. Components. They got this like jigsaw looking thing because it's a component. So all of these should be good, not that. Everything here should be all good. And then we got all these damage types, so we don't want any of these either, because these won't have a lifetime, so I won't be able to review it. Oh my gosh, again? Send it. Send the bug report to Epic. Your engine keeps crashing. I literally have one job, and it's to look at the lifetime of some actors, and once I can do that, I can move on to the next thing. I mean, it may very well tell me, actually, if I go to guards and I go saved, sometimes, you know, when your editor crashes, you can look at the logs and actually see if there's a reference exception or something that's happening. So at 7:08 AM, which is not 4:58, so it should, oh, it'll be it'll be this one. And so we can see here there's a call stack assertion fail in a C++ class at line 2220. Just a random warning. It just says here, log content browser asset data source. Warning, unable to convert short parent class name none to a path name. So that's not good. Item mesh gen variable. Blueprint class generated. Attachment push dagger. Failed to load the outer for item mesh. And spring arm. There's a simple construction script on one of the blueprint generated classes for the attachment push. So let's have a look at the attachment and see if that's the issue. BP underscore attachment. So let's check our construction script. Nothing's happening in here. Let's have a look at our character attachment. That's not doing anything extra. This can't have a construction script. That's not possible. Yep. Then we got some other stuff in here, but those are okay. So let's type attachment. So I've actually got two of these. So I'm going to delete that one. Yeah, that one's fine. So I think the issue was there was a class in there that was like invalid because it was old and bad. So that's gone. And so now we should have a better time opening some of these things. Okay, so of all the items, the only one that happened to have 20-second lifetime was the goddamn poison. So that's good. That one's sorted. I'm going to start committing some of these. So let's get rid of everything. The first thing is we want to change this. So update thrown poison, remove 20-second lifetime. And let's just double check that we didn't leave the debug removal of the gameplay effect in. Yep, so this is still connected, so that's good. And I think that was the only change. So we also set drop on ragdoll to false, and we also removed GA underscore skull for drinking. So that one's in. We've got this decal guards, guard escort, escort, decal, escort goal, all these assets as well as the LC spawn room. So this is drop off location decal, UX improvement. Thanks, Eggman. I could have wrote a commit note, but no one's going to care about the commit notes. But thanks, thanks Spark for highlighting that. Cool. So this is done. The poison bottle had 20-second lifetime. F. Kick animation cancel. If you attack immediately after a kick, the kick cancels. So let's oh, we gotta delete this. Delete broken asset. Bonk. Let's get rid of that. This stuff here is a bug that I found this morning about combos not filtering through properly. But let's do this kick. So if you kick and immediately punch, you can do both. Okay. So what we can do is look at GA_kick. And GA kick has a really messy graph, and it has a montage event. It also has this. It doesn't seem to have an ability tag, so that's an issue, because all abilities should have a tag. So let's go and look at GA punch. This has the ability tag of an equipped item melee. So let's try that. Now I can't kick. So, in my character template player, there's a gas component ability system where I have all these granted abilities, and one of them is a melee kick that's just on IA kick. And then if I go and look at kick, and it's not blocked by anything. But I do remember. Wait, so yeah, I think I know what's going on here. So I think the inventory component is when you get your initialized inventory, you if you've got nothing in your hands, you get granted these unarmed abilities, and just before we grant them, I believe we clear your abilities. And so what we do is we find everything that's an equipped item and we get rid of it, anything that's droppable or extra, and I don't know really what extra is, and we get rid of them, and then there's some extra objects. So what's happening is it's actually getting rid of the kick. So we don't want to give the kick the equipped item, but we do want to give it something. So it's not inventory, it's just an ability, and we'll call it we'll just call it an attack, I guess. And it's like, now I should be able to kick because it's not going to get rid of my kick. But what we can say is that other melees, because this doesn't come from, oh, it does come from melee, god damn it. I was going to say, so what we can do is we can say block abilities with the tag attack. Like, basically we're trying to say block other attacks. And then the kick, block abilities with the tag attack. There should be a blocked by. Activation is blocked by. Actually, the simplest way to do this is to not even do that. Anyway, let's try this. So, activation blocked tags. This ability is blocked if the activating actor or component has any of these tags: arrested, busy, dead, KO, etc. We also want to block. Well, the idea is you can kick and then melee. So now you can't melee and immediately kick. That's bad. We want this one to include attack, basically. I should really give it a more explicit. Yeah, so let's actually add a more explicit one, which is like ability attack dot kick. So yeah, this has the ability attack.kick, and all melee attacks are gonna block the kick. Donk. That clearly didn't work. This ability is blocked if the activating actor component has any of these tags. Okay, so I kick. Right, so that didn't work. The kick owns the ability tag kick. It also blocks kick, which is kind of dumb. But also, yeah, this melee and this melee punch is also activation blocked by kick, so... maybe the easier way to do this is kick. Block abilities with tag. Equipped item. That's better. You can still like punch and then immediately kick. I feel like that's okay, because the kick is meant to be an escape. It's meant to help you get out of situations. But what that also means is I can get rid of this kick from here. I can get rid of this kick from here. Because now what we're saying is we're going to block anything that's equipped whilst you're kicking. Ability attack kick, yep. So I'm going to close my editor and not save any of those changes. I'm going to go here and just, I'm not going to save any changes to that, and I'm going to get rid of everything here. And I'm just going to do that one change. That seems more reasonable. It's just like, if you're kicking, you can't do an equipped item attack. You should still be able to guard. That is important. So we open GA_melee kick, and we make a very surgical change instead of, because now we've done a bunch of like random tests, and we say we block the abilities with the tag equipped item. So you may kick, can't block, so that's not cool. GA_guard is apparently an equipped item. Which I feel like it shouldn't be. We're just going to make 2 people in a listen server and test some stuff. So now I can kick and guard. I can guard while I'm kicking. So you should always be able to guard, basically. Looks a bit janky on the second guy's camera. Basically what you don't want is to like kick and then be like, I can't do anything, and then block. That kind of sucky. Cool, so... yeah, what I want wanted to test was like if I fall, no, if I
I really need to do that.
can I block while I'm down basically. It doesn't look like I can block while I'm down. So then this guy can pick me up.
Stings.
And then I want to KO. Okay, well I'm going to have to KO this guy.
I absolutely. You fight like a newborn baby. I'll fight like an infant.
Yeah, so I can't guard when I'm down, and that was like the main thing I wanted to test by removing that equipped item thing.
Yes.
Cool. Yeah, one thing I remember about guard is look at this guy on the right. I'm like absolutely smashing him. And he's just basically got infinite guarding. Which, in the context of the game, just means if you can just hold right click forever, basically, because it doesn't matter how many times you get hit. You're,
I've fought children tougher than you.
oh yeah, you can't guard from behind. So a lot of the times why you die is actually because of the getting hit from behind, and not because you can't block. But I'm not going to change that because the game feels okay. If I change that, suddenly you become even squishier, and that would suck a little bit more. So we'll try this change, which is just GA kick. Why is the item use master been changed? Just going to double check what change happened to this file. Event graph, a bunch of links got moved, so I don't care about that. And GA guard, so that, yeah, so I'm just going to write down here. Fix kick punch combo. Removed equipped item tag from guarding so you can guard after kicking. Whilst kicking, block equipped item / melee abilities, and then removed equipped item tag from guarding so you can guard after kicking. That's that change. Let's just keep going down the list. So we've got this kick animation one, react, did this. Kick now blocks other attacks for the duration. The game crashes when you knock down doors. This guy actually got back to me and we solved his problem, so I'll react to this as sort of like done. So that's good, and then we've got this barrier glitch, right? So in the hub, let's go jump over to the hub world. Apparently what you can do, if I set this to 1 player standalone, I grab these knives, so there's a point somewhere here, yeah. So you can see here, if I throw this, it actually gets destroyed. But apparently if I just stand on the other side, I can just take him. So that was a fail. Yeah. Okay. So there's a little box here. We can see it's just just a little exit box that just says, hey, if you take anything from in this room out that way, that's not cool. So that's just the case that, like, you can throw it here. I think you can just stand, like, immediately in the box. So it wouldn't matter how long I make this box. It's like you're in it, you pick it up, and you've picked it up. So that's it. It's over. The item is free now. So how would you fix this? One thing going through my head is that, like, anytime someone picks up an item... Yeah, let's do that. So anytime someone picks up one of these tracked items, I'm going to ask if they're inside that volume. No, don't add an event for it. Sorry, just create a reference. Is like get overlapping actors, get overlap. Is actor? It's like is actor overlapping basically. Is overlapping a certain actor? Cool. So what we have somewhere in here is just a massive array of items, and we add them all to these tutorial items. Find references. Well, I suppose what we can do is say, now that we have all these tutorial items, we want to go through each of them. And we want to say, assign pickup, assign equip, assign something. I need to assign something to it. Cast to a BP item. The fact that these two items aren't... No, I guess it's fine. Assign pickup. If this item gets picked up, get the owner. And ask if the owner is overlapping this box, and if he is, destroy the item. And I think you actually have to drop the item and destroy it. Yeah, you got to drop it and then destroy it, as long as it's still valid. Cool. And the only thing that can equip up a weapon is a character, so this should be fine. And to make sure that you just can't stand on the absolute other side of that box, we just made this box like a little bit longer. So there's only a certain range at which you can do this. So what was happening was, you throw it on the floor, you stand all the way over here. Yep, now it's gone. So let's try it with the weapons. I feel like I'm just like getting rid of people's fun here, but the point is, it shouldn't. You shouldn't be able to steal this stuff. bug there. So yeah, bind to thrown item made, and it's like when a thrown item is created, we add it to these two items, and we bind to throw item made item again. So anytime this item gets thrown. So what we also need to do is this needs to kind of be like a little function. So it's like custom event binds to pickup. This goes in here. We can say bind pickup. And we also need to do that here as well. So that should solve that again a little bit more. So, alright, well, we don't need all of them. We need to do it once. That makes me wonder, actually, can I just stand inside this box and pick up this torch? Nope. Alright, so that's that bug. Hub world map and throw items, so hub deny zone hub item deny zone fix. So what I did was if an item is picked up whilst inside the deny zone, destroy the item. That's cool. I am going to also add another piece of logic, which is just like, I'd like all of these items when they get destroyed to re-instance themselves wherever they were. So like if this goes through that volume, it just reappears here. And so in order to do that, what we can do is I should really move all of this logic to like its own actor. It'd just be easier to manage, so I'm going to do that quickly, which is just like, we've got a kill volume, we've also got like a BP underscore hub item manager, I guess. And all the logic that I've been writing is just going to move straight over here. So at the moment it's this array of tutorial items, which I'm just going to fill myself. So we'll take all of this and all of this, and we'll also take this overlap, stop escaping with items. We'll take all of that code. And that should be all the code that we need. So we go into the event graph. This doesn't need to load on the client because this is just a server-side kind of deal. Yeah, we take all this code. We're happy with this code. We've got this actor begin overlap. So what we'll do is we'll actually create a box collision that mimics that trigger volume. So we don't need this trigger volume anymore. So this is just a trigger volume that is a volume that overlaps pawns and items. So it's just a custom, doesn't do anything, it's a volume, it overlaps pawns and items. Just double check. It generates overlap events. It's query. Cool. And so we add an event for that on begin overlap. Just bring that up. We've got other actor, goes in here. This goes in here. So now we just got like this little box. There's some errors in here, so we'll just save it for now. Should be able to compile this and it works fine. Cool. So that's the hub world cleaned up. We'll get rid of this. We'll drop this into our world, and then we'll start fixing the issues. So firstly, it's like, I don't know what 2 items are, so we create that variable. We'll make it visible so that we can edit it in the graph, in the world. Got all this code here, which we're just going to run on begin play. So one thing I was thinking was I can just go get all items of get all actors of class. I was going to say of class item, but I could just say get all tag, get all actors with tag tutorial item. Copy that. Tutorial items just immediately becomes that. I guess I could append it. So if you've manually added some stuff, maybe we'll just no, we're just not going to make it visible. Yeah, let's just do it this way. So we're going to get everything that's tagged tutorial item, and then we're going to loop through it and do the stuff that we were doing. And then we've got this like unknown child actor, which is just a torch. So what we can say is that we'll tag the torch tutorial item, and if it's not a weapon sticky, is it a cast torch? Is it a wall torch? And if it is a wall torch, then do this. So now we've added that item as well. Though that's going to make the array. It is going to make the array longer. That's weird. That is weird. We don't need to add it. What we need to do is I mean, we do need to add it to the items, because it's the item that needs to be added to the items. Cool. And then also we need to refresh all of this stuff. We'll get this box and just say, is this box overlapping actor? Hello? Okay. Is this box overlapping this actor? I've actually got to go in a second. We also need to bind every item in the event that it's an item. We can now take this, just go straight to our BP items. So we've got a whole ton of stuff. We've got literally, I mean, you can't really take this. Oh, we'll take that. My cat's moaning at me. Okay, mate. So we got these items. Is there any other items lying around? There's all these health potions, but you can't really steal these. There's this stuff. There's a couple of knives in here. We've already got those mugs. Could always, well, we don't need to tag don't need to tag the mugs. You can take a mug with you. It's just the weapons, because you're supposed to buy the weapons. Any weapons that come out of these crates as well are a free game. So it's just like free bonus. So then what you do is you just tag all of these. Tutorial item, as well as this torch. Hit save. We've got this volume. Just make this nice and large. And then just give it a quick go. So that one worked. So that's nice. We've like moved the logic away. So we've got all this. The reason I moved it over there as well is because now when I get back after dinner is I can make it so that my son's having a bit of a mare. I can make it so that anytime these get destroyed, they actually recreate themselves where they originally were. So yeah, all this logic is still good. Right, yeah, I've got to go have dinner and then I will be back. I will catch you guys in